Hello students, my name is Prerna and I'm your EVS teacher. And today from your EVS book Enviro, we are going to be reading chapter number 2. Now, when you're living with so many people, when you're living with your family, when you're living, when you're sharing a relationship with your friends, and you have so many different, relations to take care of. So it is important to know ourselves and others as well. And that's exactly what we are going to learn in chapter number 2. Let us start reading this. This is chapter number 2, and the name of the chapter is Knowing Ourselves and Others. So there are just a set of few questions that you can answer according to your experience, or probably according to the environment that you are in. Is there anyone in your family who has the loudest voice, and from how far away can you hear it? What is your favorite food? Do all members of your family like that food? And do you know anyone who is differently abled but has a very sharp mind? So we're going to read about all these in this chapter. All living things present in the world have certain common features while they grow up at their own times. However, they also are different from each other in many ways, like color, skin, the facial features, etc. The things which make an organism similar to or different from is called a trait. So, something that probably uh, maybe is a habit that you have, or it's basically something that you generally do. It is called as a trait. Growing up, our bodies change as we grow every day. However, we may not be aware of these changes as these are quite slow. This growth takes place because our bones, muscles and skins are made up of tiny cells. These cells divide and multiply in number every day, and that is what leads us to grow bigger and taller with age. And how does this happen? This entire process of growth and development takes place by consuming the right food. For instance, Nick took out his summer clothes during summer vacations. He found that the clothes he wore last year were too small for him. So he went to his mother, who hugged him and said, "You're growing up." So it has happened with all of us that, the clothes that we were able to wear, let's say a year or 2 years ago, we are hardly able to fit into those clothes. I did not see myself grow taller, so Nick is just wondering. And he's asking his mother, "I don't feel that." So she said, "You're always growing, my dear. You may not notice that you are taller than you were last year, but you will know when the clothes and the shoes you wore last year become too small for you." Nick's mother placed a height chart on the wall in Nick's room. She marked his son's height on a particular day on the chart. She told Nick that he should mark his height every 6 months. So this is something that you can always do. It's a very interesting activity. Everyone grows till the age of 19 or 20. As the years went by, Nick's parents would be able to tell how much their son had grown. "Who's the tallest person in your family?" asked Nick. "In our family." So Nick is asking that who's the tallest. So mother replied that your uncle Ramesh is the tallest person in the family, and he is 6 feet tall. Nick calculated that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, which would mean that Uncle Ramesh is 72 inches. How? 6 into 12. And if we convert it into centimeter, it will be 182.88 centimeters. So two activities you can do: place a height chart in your room, and second, if let's say you want to be 6 feet tall, you want to be 6'3", or maybe you want to be 5'10", so you can do a quick calculation as to how many inches you need to work on so that you can gain height. And skipping, in fact, is a very good exercise to gain height. All of us are different. In our family and friends, every member or person has different qualities, such as some people have a very loud voice and some people speak very softly. Some of them are good cook while others do not know how to cook. Some people love to laugh while there are some who are a little serious who would just smile. If we talk about babies, then babies also express themselves. Babies laugh, cry, snuggle, fuss, and shout to get attention. Crying is the beginning of language and expression for a baby, for a newborn. A baby cries to show its deep discomfort due to hunger, tiredness, or any other reason. Generally, we have, let's say, a newborn or probably infants in our home. We generally hear, our parents or probably the parents of the infant saying, "Oh, this child is crying. He wants to sleep now. Oh, this child is hungry right now." So, through crying, a child expresses what he wants. Then we talk about, our senses. An ability to understand, recognize, or react to something, especially any of 5 physical abilities to see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, is known as sense. The organs like eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin help us to do all these physical activities that are called as sense organs. So, we have different senses for different sense organs. Our likes and dislikes. We know that we get information about our surroundings through our sense organs. Alright. So they are responsible for our likes and dislikes. For instance, Meera and her sister Ria like flowers and they both like to eat ice cream. But Meera likes classical song while Ria likes western songs. So how sisters Meera and Ria have different preferences for music. Meera's favorite color is yellow, but Ria's favorite color is pink. And this is what we see in our families as well. Now we talk about family background. Our family influences our likes and dislikes in many ways. Sometimes we hear us, family members saying, "Oh, he's just like his father. See, oh, his mother has the same liking, or her mother has the same liking." Sometimes you may see a number of people in a family who have taken up the same profession. Occupations, they are often passed from generation to generation in the family. But that is, of course, not in every family. Cultural background. Eating habits are greatly influenced by our culture. For instance, people in a vegetarian family will not eat non-vegetarian food, of course, and Indians, we mostly like spicy food. Then people living in the West, they do not like spicy food. They do not like oily food. So, according to our culture also, our food preferences or our food habits are formed. Conditions. Our likes and dislikes are influenced by our conditions. For instance, during vacations, we enjoy music, dancing, watching television, playing. But we hardly pay attention to our studies. So we do not like to read our school books, but during examination days, we stay away from all these activities and we focus on our books, on our studies, right? So according to the condition, according to the situation. Now we talk about differently abled people. So there are some people around us who probably are who probably do not have the same, let's say, sense power that we have. So there could be someone who's not able to see, someone who's not able to hear. So these people are called as differently abled people. Sometimes when one or the other of our senses does not work too well or does not work at all, the other senses become sharper and more developed. This is the most important part. For instance, someone who cannot see will usually have a very strong smell or touch. So a person who's not able to see, you'll be surprised that those people can actually smell you. Even if you're not wearing a perfume, even then that person can, oh, this person might have entered my house. All right. That is why people do not have to have the use of one or more of their senses and are called as differently abled. Now, how do they communicate? People who are blind can see with their fingers. Basically, they feel something with their fingers. They touch your face to read your features and understand what you look like. Blind people also read text using a special script of lettering called as the Braille script. It is a system of 6 raised dots arranged in many different combinations to represent different letters of the alphabet, punctuation marks, and even musical notes. This script was developed by Lewis Braille, and he himself was blind. So you can see certain dotted lines here. So how these people who are visually challenged, how they are trained is they are made to rub their probably fingers over these dots to understand different alphabets or maybe music notes as well. So then there are some people who cannot speak, who cannot hear, and they use sign language. All right. Being differently able does not mean that these people are not able to achieve their goals in life. In fact, there are many famous people who have overcome these disabilities and they have made a huge difference in the world. And one such person was Helen Keller. She's a great writer and scholar who became deaf and then she could not even speak, and she also became blind at only 19 months of age. So imagine, she lost all her senses, but she became a great writer. Her father appointed a teacher named Anne Sullivan for her. She worked tirelessly for years and taught Helen to read words by spelling them out on Helen's arms. So what this teacher used to do is she used to write the word on Helen's arms and she would make Helen feel those alphabets. And how exactly, a little incident, I remember I've read the story about Helen Keller and how her teacher made her understand water. So her teacher, Miss Anne Sullivan, she took her near a kind of a hand pump sort of a thing, and she asked Helen to put her hand under the water, and the moment Helen put her hand under the water, so she felt, oh, this is what water is like, and that is how Helen was able to pronounce the word water. Okay. Helen Keller famously said, public must learn that a blind man is neither a genius nor a freak and certainly not an idiot. He has a mind that can be educated, a hand which can be trained, and it is the duty of public to help him make the best of himself. Very important lesson given by Helen Keller, that whenever you see a person who is specially able, you should help that person rather than thinking, oh, this person is good for nothing, or rather than mocking that person. Always help that person. Helping people overcome challenges. Many colleges and universities across the country, they provide special computers with speakers for students who are visually challenged. News for people who cannot hear is telecasted by national channel. You can ask your parents, I mean, even today in some parts of the world, what happens is that there is news which is narrated only through sign languages, and it is for the people who cannot hear. Then Delhi Transport Corporation, it has many low floor buses so that the boarding and the deboarding of the bus becomes easy. Then there are many ramps in railway stations, metro stations, and shopping malls for people who use wheelchairs. So this is what a ramp looks like. So many people around us, they are same as well. They're similar to us. They're different than us. But our responsibility is to probably accept the person the way that person is. And when I say accept that person, means that you respect every person around you. All right. Thank you so much.